Hey guys, welcome back to Part of the People. I'm Esteban. Now we've already discussed what your role is in the case, what your attorney's role is, what the judge's role, and the prosecutor. And so we have a better understanding of how we all affect the case in our own way, or how we could affect the case, how we could be manipulated, and so on and so forth. Who holds the power, who doesn't. Uh, but let's start off. Like, what comes next? So, unfortunately, in a lot of criminal cases, this is the beginning is going to be jail. For whatever reason, they're accusing you of a crime. They pick you up, they arrest you. You end up in jail for the night. The next morning, you're gonna be taken in front of a judge, and it's gonna be a quick hearing. This is called a magistration, by the way. It's going to be a quick hearing where they're going to read you your rights real quick. They're going to read you your charges and make sure that they know that you know what you're being charged for. They might discuss whether or not you want to hire an attorney, if you're going to hire an attorney on your own, if you're going to request one from the court, or even if you're going to, or if you decide to go pro se. I don't think they go too much into detail, but it's just something really quick and just discussing all those points. Um, then you bond out, hopefully, and you get to go home pending the next hearing. Now, the next hearing is actually going to be a very critical one. And unfortunately, this is where I'm noticing that there's a lot of due process violation happening here from the judges. And you guys want to keep an eye out for this. Perhaps you've gone through this scenario yourself, and you're a little bit more experienced in that way, and maybe you could share your story. I'd love to hear about it. But I have been going through a lot of cases here in Cameron County. I've gone through a lot of cases through a lot of the judges. There's 12 judges here, and so I've been going through each one of their cases. Obviously, I haven't seen them all, but I have gone through a lot of them. And one thing that I have noticed is that the arraignment hearing is not properly conducted. Now, in order for them to properly conduct an arraignment hearing, you have to be present. They cannot hold an arraignment hearing without you. You are the whole reason for this arraignment hearing. Basically what they do in the arraignment hearing, just so you guys could be clear, is they're going to go over your charges. So they're going to read your charges. They're going to go over the details of the charges, the legal penalties that you might be facing due to those charges. They're going to make sure that you understand your rights. So they go into your rights a little bit more in detail. And whether or not you're going to be seeking legal representation. Are you going to be representing yourself? Almost guarantee you 100% of the time they're going to push for you to get an attorney. This happens 100% of the time. Judges don't want you to go without an attorney. Attorneys don't want you to go without an attorney. Prosecutors don't want you to go without an attorney. And I think, we've already discussed that, but I think the reason for it is pretty damn clear as to why they don't want you to proceed without an attorney. So they're going to really push you to get one. Either go hire one on your own if you could afford it, and if you cannot afford it, we'll provide one for you. And they will 100%. They'll be quick about it too. They will ask you about how you plead, and that is the main focus, I believe, on the arraignment hearing is, how do you plead? Do you plead not guilty? Do you plead guilty? No contest. This is where you first get to voice out your belief about this case, and you should be there. You should 100% of the time should be there to voice that out. And when you're not there, it kind of defies the whole reason for this hearing, and it violates your due process rights. This is the beginning of doing everything wrong. In addition to that, you might you're gonna set bail. So that the judge will set a bail for you. Go over any future court hearings, and what else? What else? Um, if there's any motions on the table, they'll discuss that, whether they're going to hold another hearing for that, or if it's something that they normally they don't take care of it in the arraignment hearing. But they'll discuss it, whether it's going to take place in another hearing in a future date. If they could set a date for it now, they will. But going back to the importance of you being there, uh, it's 100% imperative that you're there. In fact, they cannot and they should not move forward without you. And that's exactly what I'm seeing in most of the cases here in Cameron County. Now, I don't want to say that the that is the vast majority. I don't want to say that it's over 50%, maybe about 50%, maybe a little bit under 50%, but there is quite a bit of cases that move forward into arraignment and the defendant is not present. So if you're not present and you don't get to give your pleading, how are they moving forward? I don't understand. And but we'll explain a little bit more here in a bit. Uh, the proper way for them to do this is to give several notifications. Now, what I've been seeing a lot has been that they send off notification for arraignment. Um, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that you gave the wrong address, or perhaps you gave an address that you're not there anymore. Maybe you gave out a friend's address because you didn't have any other address to give out, and your friend is no longer your friend, or he's no longer there, and one way or another they can't reach you. They send off notification comes back, insufficient address. You have not been properly notified of your arraignment hearing. And what should be happening is several other attempts, ultimately leading to, if there's been several attempts, to contact you in several ways. I'm sure they have your phone number, or they have a phone number on file, they have an address on file. They could try both of them several times. Ultimately, if they can't get a hold of you any other way, the last resort is posting it up in the public. And so they'll do publications. They'll post it on the newspaper. They'll post it up on a board at the courthouse, somewhere where the public sees it, and that the law says that's good enough, ultimately, to notify you. And if you don't see it, then you don't see it. Eventually they'll be able to move forward with it, but not until they've exhausted every effort. And unfortunately, that's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is one attempt. Most of the time it's getting sent back, insufficient address, which happened to me in my personal case, and I just got certified paperwork for that today. And I was looking at it, and it looks like my address was 100% correct. I don't see any flaws in the way the address was put on the on the envelope. So I think we need to do a little bit more digging into that. I think something's a little funky there. But how is this affecting you guys? So they send off notification comes back, insufficient address, you don't get notified. Now what? Well, these judges, what they're doing is they're signing a capias. They put an arrest warrant out on you, and you have no idea. So you're walking around, minding your business. All of a sudden, whatever happens, you might get in an accident, you might get in a discussion, police get involved, they check your ID, and there's an arrest warrant. So they arrest you, they put the handcuffs on you, they take you in, and either you spend the night in jail again, or if it's early enough, you go in front of the magistrate again, and they'll move forward with the arraignment. Now, at this point, several things are happening, but I think the biggest play here is the psychological factor. I mean, you've already been arrested once, you've already been arrested twice. This second time, maybe you didn't do anything, and you're just, you know, I was lucky enough that I was kind of keeping up with my case, and it had been a while since I heard anything. I decided to call the court, and they tell me, "Oh yeah, we already held the arraignment hearing for you. You weren't present. There's an arrest warrant for you." I decided to go in and took care of it there. But a lot of times that's not the way it happens. A lot of times you get arrested, and here you are in front of the judge again, and it plays a big psychological factor. You're maybe scared, maybe just completely bummed out about it, like you feel powerless, helpless, and so you're more likely to just go along with whatever the judge says after that, and that's how everything goes downhill for you. But most importantly, from here, this is usually where they get the power to make sure that you have an attorney, and make sure you're scared. If you could afford an attorney, this is the point where you hire an attorney. And if you don't have the money for it, this is the point where you start asking for an attorney. You don't know what the hell happened. All you know is that one day you're out and about, the other day you're in handcuffs. And so this is where most people get an attorney, and I see this in the cases. This is about the place where a lot of the attorneys come in, the court-appointed attorneys, the public defenders come into play. Another thing to note, very important, is that this is the point where there is a lot of waivers of arraignment put into the case. What is a waiver of arraignment? That's basically you stating that you don't want an arraignment, that you understand your rights, and that you want to move forward without the arraignment. The reason why this comes in at this critical point in your case is probably because they've already held an arraignment without you, and they need to justify themselves. So something for you guys to keep in mind. I know there's going to be a ton of you guys out there that are probably thinking that is exactly what happened to me. And it's important to understand and know that this is a violation of your due process rights. This is a big violation. This is the beginning of your case, and everything usually in what I've seen in a lot of these case files that I'm looking at, this is where everything starts going downhill. This is where it's a trap. It's a trap that they're setting for you. And so as of right now, I'm digging into this. I don't have enough proof yet, I don't think. But as soon as I get enough, as soon as I put right now, and on top of that, right now I'm working on other things that I don't want to get too much into detail with what I'm doing. But as soon as I clear all these things, I'm definitely going to start posting all this stuff up. I'm going to be posting names. We're going to be calling out a lot of people individually, personally, and so you want to stick around. You want to know this. Guys, this is very important stuff. Like, I didn't know this. The arraignment hearing. It's a very important hearing. You should be there. They should not be holding these hearings without you. This is a big due process violation. This is a violation of your civil rights. These guys should not be getting away with this, and everybody has a part in this. The prosecutor, your attorneys, the judges have a part in this. We need to start standing up against that. Hope to see you guys back. I'll get with you guys tomorrow. Once again, I post daily videos with tips on how to represent yourself, and to show you guys a little bit more of what the process is in court. If you have a story, leave your story down in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Let's discuss it. And like always, I'm going to call out attorneys, judges, prosecutors. If you guys are listening to me, leave your thoughts on the comment section. I want to discuss things with you. I want to get your side of the story. Why is all this happening? Where do you stand in all this? Hope to hear from you guys, and until next time.